Hey, it's David Brody, of course, from Elvis Duran, The Morning Show, and today is finally my turn to cook with my favorite sauce, Rao's Homemade. Today I'll be preparing spicy striped lasagna. Say that 5 times fast. Anyway, let's take a look at the ingredients. Today we're going to be going with the pesto and the arrabbiata, and that will give us our stripe and our spice. Okay, we're also going to be using Rao's homemade meatballs, fresh ricotta cheese, red pepper spicy chicken sausage, lasagna noodles, some grated fat-free mozzarella, some part skim mozzarella that I'm going to slice up and shred some of, and of course, for the topping, my favorite Locatelli Romano cheese. Oh, and one more thing. We're going to sprinkle a little oregano on that. Oh wait, I almost forgot something very important. Protect the shirt. There I go. Now we're ready. Okay, the first thing I like to do is get the ricotta cheese ready. And a lot of people will put the sauce on the noodles and then spread the cheese, or spread the cheese and then the sauce. And the cheese is very sticky. So what I was taught growing up in Brooklyn by all of my Italian neighbors was to put the sauce in with the cheese and mix it up so it becomes easily spreadable. There's your arrabbiata for the spice. Should get a nice pink color, and we're going to add some other things to that, but that will make it very spreadable. And now let's create the green stripe using Rao's pesto. If there's too much pesto, you can just add some cheese. Okay, let's put that to the side. That'll be used for dipping later. One of the things I love about cooking lasagna is there's always extra ingredients left over. I cook more sausage than I need, I cook more meatballs than I need, and I make more of these mixtures than I need, because at some point I'm going to cook the sausage. You're going to see I'm going to make popcorn sausage, and then we're just going to eat the sausage like popcorn. Dip it in the sauces, pop them in. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take the, we'll call it skin or casing, off of the sausage so we can break it up. Unfortunately, I'm not slicing and dicing anything, otherwise you'd get to see my incredible knife skills. Now you're thinking, oh, Brody's joking. No, actually, I managed restaurants for, I don't know, 10, 12 years, something like that. And I got pretty good chopping up stuff with a knife. Let's get this going. I doubt the pan is hot. We're still going to place the sausage around the pan. And again, I'm probably going to use 2 to 3 links in the actual recipe. Okay, so the sausage is coming out nicely. And I probably have about a third of it done already. You don't have to cook it all the way because it's going to cook more once it gets in the lasagna and into the oven. So we're going to put the cooked or mostly cooked sausage in there. And we're going to keep the process going. Just keep dropping in the sausage. The pan is hot. It cooks very quickly. So I can't show you my knife skills, but I can show you a little bit of my pan handling. How about that? Catch that? And just in case you wanted to see my flipping ability, here it is in slow motion. And while the final batch is cooking, I just got the meatballs, the Rao's meatballs, out of the oven. And we're going to mash those up. I know it's a shame to mash perfectly round meatballs, but we're going to need the chopped meat for the lasagna. And of course, we will add sauce to the meatballs. Okay, now we're going to put the plain meatballs, and I say plain only because they don't have red sauce on them, broken up, into the pesto and ricotta mix, so that again, it's easier to spread onto the noodles later. Let's add in the meatballs now into the red part of the lasagna. Now let's mix in some of the sausage into the red. Now, those of you who listen to the Brooklyn Boys podcast or have heard me teased mercilessly on the Elvis Duran Morning Show, you guys know I don't eat green food normally. I make an exception for two things: cucumbers and pesto, especially good pesto, which is what this is. So, we are now ready to bring in the noodles. You know what, before we get to the noodles, let's grate some of the mozzarella cheese. We're going to need that for the middle of the lasagna and of course again for the top. There we have some sliced mozzarella and some grated. We'll use the slice to cover the top of the lasagna, so when it comes out of the oven, hopefully it'll be a little bit brown and bubbly and perfection. And when it's all done, we're going to cover it with a little bit of locatelli romano. If you've never had locatelli romano, you're welcome. And you can see just about that much. Very exact recipe. Okay, it's finally time to assemble all of the ingredients. Spread it around the bottom evenly. Now, we're going to take our noodles, and I like to do the green stripe first, up the middle, and then we'll do some red on the outside, and we'll take some of our shredded mozzarella and a little bit of our fat-free mozzarella. Now, what do we do next? We do it again. Because the pieces of meat are so big, you shouldn't have to do that many layers. But if there's any noodles exposed, I'll just pour a little more sauce on there. And we'll put, you know what? Let's just put a little sliced cheese in there, just for the heck of it. All right, there we go. And we will cover it. Okay, like so. And yes, perfectly measured out. Mostly the rest of the jar of arrabbiata sauce. I'll spread that out. Just enough that it doesn't drip down the sides and ruin the stripe. We'll put a little more grated cheese on top. We will put our sliced mozzarella cheese on top. We have one more thing to do before we put it in the oven. We're going to make our top stripes. We put it in the oven at 400 degrees for 35 minutes. You may notice I pitched a bit of a tent in the middle so that the tin foil doesn't touch our beautiful design. All right, now we have to remove the tin foil and bake an additional 5 to 10 minutes. Ooh, look at that stripe. The finished product. Out of the oven with just a couple of more ingredients to add until it's perfect. As promised, grated locatelli romano and oregano. Still bubbling. David Brody's spicy striped lasagna. Thank you, Rayo's Homemade. Oh, and don't think I forgot. Popcorn sausage.